Joe and Mark. Joe, thank you. Under 60 seconds, judges, athletes, make sure you are ready. If we have any secondary judges that would like to jump in, please feel free to assist. Seconds. 20 seconds. 15. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. On your clocks. Make sure you're watching your clocks. And timer is on. 30 minutes, half marathon. All these athletes are completing snatch for this 30-minute set. "30-minute half marathon, multi-switch, athletes can change hands whenever they like, aiming to get as many reps as they can in the set time period. Athletes on platform 1 and 2 with the green kettlebells, they have 24 kilo kettlebells. Athlete on platform 3 has a 16 kilo kettlebell, which is the yellow. This is 30 minutes of kettlebell lifting. Athletes will be aiming to find a pace that they can maintain for as long as possible, or they may be implementing a pacing strategy, going out fast and then putting the brakes on. Athletes must finish the 30-minute set to get their score. Athletes can change hands as they need. For this specific lift, the resting position is only in the overhead. Athletes can hold the kettlebell here for as long as they need to. For anyone walking past, this is kettlebell sports. Athletes are competing in a half marathon, which is a 30-minute lift. All these athletes are competing at kettlebell snatch, aiming to get as many reps as they can. So we are 9 minutes in, flopping window in 1 minute. Floppers, please make sure you are ready to go. Brown walking past or sticking their head over. This is kettlebell sport. We have 30-minute lifts here, a half marathon. Multi-switch. Athletes can change hands whenever they like. Strength endurance sports. Athletes need to achieve fixation overhead, which is the kettlebell pausing. The judges will award the referee and see this as well. Flopping window in 10 seconds. Flopping window is open for any athletes that do require water or chalk. Please make sure you're in a limited rest position, which for snatch is overhead. In these 30-minute sets, athletes have 2 flopping windows where they can receive water and or chalk. They can also discuss with their coach or flopper, potentially around a bit of pacing, discuss a bit of strategy. Athletes are competing snatch, platform 1 and 2, and the left and the middle are lifting a 24-kilo kettlebell. 24-kilo kettlebell is a qualifying kettlebell for the Australian kettlebell team, and this is an amateur weight for males. The professional category would be a 32-kilo kettlebell. Platform 3 is lifting a 16-kilo kettlebell. Athletes will be working towards a number or a rank based on the kettlebell they're lifting. For all of these athletes, it is about 390 reps for a rank. Rank 3 with a 16-kilo kettlebell, rank 1 with a 24-kilo kettlebell. Closed. That is the first 2 flopping windows in this 30-minute set. For those that have just watched the class, athletes will be committing this lift 30 minutes, getting as many reps as they can. Multiple hand changes are allowed, and this is whenever the athlete deems suitable. minutes into this 30-minute half marathon set that is walking past. 30 minutes of kettlebell lifting. These athletes are all completely snatched. Platform 1 and 2 with the green kettlebells are lifting 24 kilos. Platform 3 with the yellow kettlebell is 16 kilos. These athletes will be chasing a ranking based on the kettlebell they're lifting, which for all these athletes it is about 390 reps in 30 minutes, which is 13 reps a minute consistently for 30 minutes. These athletes are competing at a half marathon, which is 30 minutes of kettlebell lifting. All these athletes are completing snatch. Multi-switch can change hands as many times as they like. They put the kettlebell down before the 30-minute time window, they get a 0. Athletes on platform 1 to 2 will be lifting a 24 kilo, which is the green. Athlete on platform 3 is lifting a 16 kilo kettlebell, which is a yellow kettlebell. These athletes will be chasing a rank based on the kettlebell they're lifting, which can vary from about 360 to 400 reps. And flopping window is open. 3-minute flopping window. Athletes can receive water and chalk. When athletes are receiving water and chalk in this flopping window, they must be in a committed rest position, which is the kettlebell fixated overhead for this lift. As we can see, Angus is doing on platform 2. these athletes. Swapping window, athletes can receive chalk and or water. We'll just have a general chit chat. Discuss pacing strategies for the last 8 minutes. Seconds left in the swapping window. Swapping windows are only in the half marathon or marathon lifting with kettlebell sport. Yesterday we had our traditional lifts, which are generally 10 minutes in length, with one hand change for single kettlebells, or for those that are game enough to use 2 kettlebells, it is just do as many reps as you can. In the afternoon we had military snatch, which was 12 minutes of this event, snatch, but as it is only 12 minutes, the pace is generally much faster. Flopping window has closed. These athletes have 7 minutes left in their 30-minute flight. Athletes will be chasing the number for rank. The platform 3 has already achieved that, with the rank being 390. Platform 1 and 2 will be chasing the lead 360 to 390 based on the age category.
I get you. Yeah, I got you. I'm not angry.
For anyone walking past, a 24-kilo kettlebell is a qualifier for the Australian national kettlebell team. Athletes must achieve a rank 1 to qualify. Coming up on 4 minutes to go for this flight. This is a 30-minute lift, half marathon lift. Aiming to complete as many reps as they can in the fasting lift. The kettlebell cannot go down or the athlete will get a 0. Athletes on platform 1 and 2 with the green kettlebells are looking at 24 kilos. Athlete on platform 3 with the yellow kettlebell, that is a 16 kilo. 24 kilo is an Australian qualifier for men. Athletes must achieve a rank 1 if they are seeking to do this. Athletes on platform 1 and 2 will be chasing this score. For anyone that is walking past athletes do snatch, 30 minutes of this will well and truly jack your heart rate up above 85%. And a lot of these athletes will maintain that heart rate for 15 to 20 minutes of this set, which means they must remain composed and not stress themselves out to hit a solid rep each time. 90 seconds to go of this 30-minute flight. Athletes will be chasing their ranks. Let's get them through this last 60 seconds, team. Big round of applause here. 30 minutes of lifting, kettlebell snatch. Angus will be chasing 390 for rank 1. Get behind him here, 25 seconds. 390 for the rank 1. Great lifting, athletes. Awesome flight. That is 30 minutes of half marathon kettlebell snatch. Couple of ranks across the board. If you figured out the pace, 13 reps a minute or so for platform 1 and 2. Give or take 17 reps a minute for platform